Most people think that gardening season ends in October, but if you stop now, you're leaving food, growth, and a big head start on the table. Because November isn't the end, it's actually one of the most powerful planting months of the year. There are seeds that thrive in the cold, seeds that need the frost, and seeds that will reward you just when others are giving up. If you love smart, simple gardening that works in real life, go ahead and hit subscribe right now, because here we don't just grow plants, we grow better ways to garden all year round. All right, let's dig into the 9 must-sow seeds that every serious gardener should plant this November. We're breaking this down crop by crop, and by the time we get to number 1, you'll see why November planting might be the best decision you make for next year's harvest. And don't forget to stay till the end of the video, because there are several bonuses for you. Let's start at number 9. Number 9. Fava beans, also known as broad beans. Fava beans are one of the best-kept secrets in cool weather gardening. Most folks overlook them, but those who plant them in November, they get a head start on one of the earliest, richest spring crops out there. Here's the magic of fava beans. They love cold weather. They survive frost, and while your other beds are resting, these beans are building soil and food. Fava beans fix nitrogen in the soil, meaning they feed the ground as they grow. By the time spring rolls around, you're left with rich, ready earth and a crop full of tender beans. If you're gardening in USDA zones 6 through 9, you're in luck. That includes states like Virginia, Georgia, Oregon, Northern California, and much of the Midwest. If you're in Canada, southern British Columbia and Ontario are great for fava beans. In the UK, anywhere south of Yorkshire is usually perfect, especially if you get them in before heavy snow. How to plant fava beans in November? Direct sow in garden beds. No need to start indoors. Plant seeds about 1 to 2 inches deep, spaced 4 to 6 inches apart. Choose a sunny spot, but don't worry too much about cold. They can handle down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit or -9 degrees Celsius. Now here's your bonus tip. Soak your fava bean seeds in water for 8 to 12 hours before planting. It speeds up germination and gives you stronger starts. And here's a little trick I love. After they sprout, add a light layer of straw mulch. It protects the young shoots from unexpected freezes and helps retain moisture in the soil. Number 8. Garlic. Hardneck varieties. If you haven't planted garlic yet, November is your moment. Especially if you're growing hardneck garlic, which gives you that strong, spicy flavor and beautiful garlic scapes in the spring. Garlic actually needs cold weather to form proper bulbs. That's right, it thrives in the cold. And here's the real reason you should plant now. Garlic planted in November develops deeper roots over winter. By late spring, it's stronger, bigger, and way more flavorful than anything you'll plant later. If you're in zones 3 through 8, November is the sweet spot. That's most of the Northeast U.S., Midwest, and into the Pacific Northwest. Think New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, and Washington State. Even parts of Alberta and Quebec in Canada can get great garlic in if the ground hasn't frozen solid. In the UK, go ahead and plant in November through December in raised beds or well-drained soil. Here's how to plant garlic properly. Choose large, healthy cloves, not the tiny ones. Break apart the bulb, but don't peel the cloves. Plant with the pointy end up, about 2 inches deep and 4 to 6 inches apart. Cover with a layer of mulch. Straw works great. If you live in a warm climate, zones 9 or 10, refrigerate your garlic for 3 to 4 weeks before planting. It mimics the cold that hardneck garlic needs. Before planting, soak the cloves in a mix of baking soda and liquid seaweed for 30 minutes. Why? It helps prevent fungal diseases and gives a nutrient boost right from the start. Also, plant garlic near spinach or lettuce. They grow well together, and garlic acts as a natural pest repellent. Number 7. Carrots. Winter sow. Let's talk about cold-sweetened carrots, and if you've never grown them in winter, this might blow your mind. Carrots taste sweeter when grown in cold soil. The frost turns the starches into sugars, giving you that snap, crunch, and natural sweetness. And yes, carrots can survive winter, especially if you mulch them right. Even in places like Colorado, Pennsylvania, or the UK Midlands, carrots can grow with a little planning. How to winter sow carrots in November. Choose a sunny, well-drained bed or a deep container. Use loose, sandy soil. Carrots don't like rocks or clay. Sow seeds about 1/4 inch deep, spacing them about 1 inch apart. After sowing, do not overwater. Carrot seeds rot easily if the soil stays soggy in cold months. Here's your bonus tip. Use a layer of leaf mulch or straw once the seedlings pop up. It holds warmth and moisture without suffocating them. And if you're using raised beds, carrots can overwinter in zones 5 and up. Just mulch heavier the colder it gets. Now, imagine this for a second. It's January, snow on the ground. You walk outside, brush back a bit of straw, and pull a fresh, sweet carrot right from the soil. It feels like cheating, but it's just smart gardening. Number 6, onion sets, short day types. Now this one is gold for southern gardeners. If you're in the southern half of the U.S., zones 7 through 10, November is your time to plant short day onions. These include states like Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, parts of California, and southern Arizona. Short-day onions need 10 to 12 hours of daylight to form full bulbs, and by planting in November, you're setting them up for a strong start when days start lengthening in late winter. If you're in Canada, this one's more challenging due to the cold, but for coastal BC or anyone with a greenhouse or cold frame, it's still possible. In the UK, stick to sets labeled for overwintering. You'll often find varieties like Radar or Electric at local garden centers. How to plant onion sets in November? Choose short-day varieties like Texas Early Grano, Yellow Graynecks, or Red Creole. Plant sets about 1 inch deep, root side down. You should still see the tip poking above the soil. Space them 4 inches apart in rows about 12 inches apart. Use well-drained, compost-rich soil. Water lightly after planting. Don't let them sit in soggy beds. Bonus tip. Here's a trick I love. Interplant your onions with lettuce or spinach. They grow fast, need similar conditions, and help you make the most of small space. Now remember, onions don't like too much nitrogen after they start bulbing, so feed lightly after the new year. And while we're here, if you're enjoying these tips and haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you never miss the smart timing windows that most people overlook. All right, let's talk leafy greens. Number 5, spinach. Spinach is the superstar of winter greens. It doesn't just survive frost, it gets sweeter because of it. The cold converts some of the starches in spinach into sugars, giving you a milder, richer flavor than what you'll ever buy in a store. If you plant spinach in early to mid-November, especially in zones 5 to 9, you'll be harvesting tender leaves through winter and then a huge flush in early spring. That includes most of the U.S. East Coast, Midwest, Pacific Northwest, and inland areas of California. For Canada, this works beautifully in southern Ontario, British Columbia, and even parts of Alberta with a cold frame or row cover. In the UK, spinach is a winter staple. Just cover it with fleece or cloches in heavy frost and it'll keep going. How to plant spinach in November? Choose varieties like Bloomsdale, Tyee, or Giant Winter. Sow seeds about 1/2 inch deep, 2 inches apart. Space rows 10 to 12 inches apart. Cover lightly with compost or leaf mulch after sowing. Water just enough to settle the soil, avoid overwatering in cold months. Pro tip: if you want ultra early spring spinach, plant now, then cover with a floating row cover. It'll insulate the bed and give you a jump start when the sun returns. And here's your bonus tip. Spinach loves wood ash. Sprinkle a handful around your bed if your soil is acidic. It adds potassium and keeps pests away. What's your favorite way to eat spinach? Baby leaves in salad or mature greens in a warm stew? Tell me in the comments. I love hearing how you use your harvest. Let's move to a lesser-known but powerful crop. Number 4. Shallots. Yes, shallots. They're one of the most underrated cold-season crops, and if you've only grown onions before, you're in for a treat. Shallots taste sweeter, milder, and richer than onions. They're perfect for sauces, roasts, and anything that needs depth of flavor. The best part? They store for 5 to 6 months in a cool pantry, which makes them a true homestead crop. In the U.S., shallots can be planted in zones 4 through 9, covering most of the country. Northern states like Maine, Wisconsin, Michigan, and parts of New York can plant shallots right now, before the ground freezes. In Canada, fall-planted shallots do well in southern Quebec, Ontario, and British Columbia. In the UK, this is a classic winter planting. Look for varieties like Germore or Golden Gourmet. How to plant shallots. Choose quality sets, avoid shriveled or soft bulbs. Plant each clove about 1 inch deep with the pointed end up. Space them 6 inches apart, rows 12 inches apart. Use rich, well-drained soil. Avoid soggy spots. Water in once, then let the cold do its work. Pro tip: shallots multiply underground. One planted clove often turns into 5 to 8 new bulbs by summer. So you're not just planting a vegetable, you're planting multiplying value. And here's a gardening hack most people don't know. Dust your shallots with a pinch of wood ash after planting. It adds trace minerals and keeps slugs away during wet months. Now, if this info is helpful so far, don't forget to hit subscribe. Every like, comment, and subscriber helps this channel grow and lets me bring you even more timely garden content every season. Number 3. Winter lettuce, under cover. Lettuce might not seem like a winter crop, but with a little protection, some varieties will keep producing through freezing temperatures. And if you've never walked out on a frosty morning to harvest a fresh head of winter lettuce, you're in for one of gardening's quiet joys. Winter lettuces aren't your typical summer romaines. They're compact, hardy, and surprisingly sweet in the cold. And here's the key: plant cold-tolerant varieties and give them a little shelter. Let's talk zones. If you're in the U.S., zones 6 through 10, you can grow winter lettuce outdoors with the help of a cold frame, low tunnel, or floating row cover. That's perfect for places like North Carolina, Tennessee, parts of Kansas, coastal Oregon, and much of California. In Canada, winter lettuce thrives in coastal BC and can also work under protection in southern Ontario and Quebec. In the UK, this is a classic winter crop. Gardeners in southern England, Wales, and even into parts of Scotland can keep lettuce alive all winter under cloches or fleece. How to plant winter lettuce in November. Choose cold-loving varieties like Arctic King, Winter Density, or Val d'Or. Sow seeds about a 1/4 inch deep, spaced 6 inches apart. Protect with a cold frame, greenhouse, or even a clear storage bin flipped upside down. Keep the soil moist but not soaked. Lettuce hates waterlogged roots. Harvest outer leaves as needed and the plant will keep producing. Pro tip: tuck lettuce into the corners of raised beds or between slower-growing crops like shallots or onions. It maximizes space and adds early harvests while you wait for other plants to mature. Here's a bonus you'll love. Add a gallon jug of water inside your cold frame. It collects heat during the day and releases it slowly at night, like a mini heater. Now, quick moment. If this is helping you learn, grow, and get inspired, hit that subscribe button now. There's always more to share, and every week I bring you seasonal planting guides, smart hacks, and down-to-earth garden wisdom. Let's move on to number 2, and this one might surprise you. Number 2. Broccoli, for southern zones and indoor starts. Broccoli in winter? Yes, and here's the trick. In warmer zones, broccoli can be started in November and grown through the mild months into early spring. This gives you massive heads and tender shoots without the bug pressure that comes in summer. If you live in zones 8 through 10, this is your green light. That means parts of Texas, Louisiana, southern Georgia, northern Florida, Arizona, and southern California. In Canada, this doesn't apply for outdoor growing, but if you've got an indoor grow light setup or unheated greenhouse in BC, you can start broccoli now and transplant later. In the UK, November broccoli starts can work in the south, especially with some cover or greenhouse support. Here's how to get it right. Start seeds indoors in trays with seed starting mix. Keep them in a cool, bright place, not hot. Transplant outdoors once seedlings have 4 true leaves and daytime temps are stable. Space plants 18 inches apart in well-drained soil. Water consistently and mulch around the base to prevent weeds and temperature swings. Bonus tip: broccoli leaves are edible too. Cook them like collards or kale, especially the young tender ones. Don't waste a single bite. And let's paint a picture here for a second. Imagine this. It's January. You step out into the crisp morning air. Frost is on the edges of your garden bed, and there, standing tall, are full, deep green heads of broccoli, waiting to be harvested. It's moments like this that make winter gardening feel magical. And if you're enjoying these little wins we can create in the garden, even in winter, then don't forget to subscribe. We're building a smarter, year-round garden together, and you're part of it. All right, the moment has come. Let's talk about the #1 must-sow seed in November. It's not a vegetable you eat directly, but it might be the most important crop you'll plant all year. Number 1. Cover crops: clover, winter rye, and more. I saved this one for last for a reason, because cover crops are the secret sauce of next year's success. They feed your soil, they protect your garden, and they save you time, money, and energy in spring. Here's how it works. Instead of leaving beds bare over winter and letting weeds and erosion take over, you plant a cover crop that grows through the cold. In spring, you cut it down and leave it right there. It turns into green manure, feeding the microbes, building structure, and giving your soil life. Here are some easy options for November. Winter rye. Grows fast, prevents erosion, adds organic matter. Crimson clover. Fixes nitrogen and attracts early pollinators. Hairy vetch. Extremely hardy, great for deep soil improvement. If you're in zones 5 through 9, these crops will work beautifully. In the U.S., that includes Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, and into the Carolinas. Also great for Pennsylvania, Virginia, and eastern Washington. In Canada, try winter rye in southern Ontario or BC. And in the UK, winter cover cropping is growing in popularity across England and Wales. How to plant a cover crop in November? Clear your bed of weeds and large debris. Rake it smooth. Broadcast your seed, just scatter it across the surface. Lightly rake it again to mix it in. Water once and let the rain take over. Timing note: plant as early in November as possible, before the ground freezes, so it has time to establish roots. Bonus tip: in early spring, cut down your cover crop before it sets seed. Let it sit for a week, then plant directly into the bed. No tilling needed. This method improves fertility, structure, and moisture retention, and it's 100% natural. No chemicals, no store-bought compost, just smart, regenerative gardening. All right, you've made it to the final stretch. If you've stayed with me through all 9 crops, then you're clearly not the average gardener. You're here because you care about growing smarter, and that's exactly what this list was built for. Let's do a quick recap so you can remember everything we covered and walk away with clarity, not overwhelm. Number 9, fava beans. Cold hardy, nitrogen fixer, early harvest in spring. Number 8, Hardneck garlic. Needs cold to bulb, stores for months, double harvest with scapes. Number 7. Winter carrots. Frost-sweetened, store in ground, great for raised beds. Number 6. Short day onions. For southern zones, long-lasting, low maintenance. Number 5. Spinach. Sweetens in the cold, fast-growing, great for salads or cooking. Number 4. Shallots. Multiply underground, rich flavor, stores beautifully. Number 3. Winter lettuce. Grow under cover, sweet leaves, minimal pests. Number 2. Broccoli. Perfect for zones 8 and 10 or indoor starts, pest-free winter heads. Number 1. Cover crops. Winter rye, clover, and vetch. Build soil, prevent weeds, and set up spring success. Every single one of these crops does something special in November. Some grow food. Some grow your soil. Some simply give you peace of mind knowing your garden isn't asleep. It's working quietly behind the scenes. And if you plant just a few of these, you'll already be ahead of 90% of gardeners waiting for spring. Let's go a little deeper now. Because you've stayed until the end, here are some extra tips to give you even more value. 1. Start a winter garden journal. Cold months are quieter, but they're perfect for planning. Write down what you planted, what zone you're in, what worked and what didn't, and notes on timing, weather, and harvests. Come spring, you'll have a head start most gardeners only wish for. 2. Use low-cost row covers or cold frames. You don't need a fancy greenhouse. Use old plastic storage bins, clear shower curtains over hoops, milk jugs with the bottoms cut out. Even these simple tools can add 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit of protection and extend your growing season by weeks or months. 3. Mulch, mulch, mulch. Cold winds dry out soil fast. Use straw, leaf mulch, or compost to protect your garden beds and containers. A 2 to 3 inch layer helps regulate temperature, suppress weeds, and hold moisture through cold, dry days. 4. Plan succession planting. This is a big one. If you plant spinach, lettuce, or fava beans now, you'll likely harvest them in early spring. As soon as they're out, you've got a ready-made bed for tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, or early herbs. That's called succession planting, and it's how experienced gardeners keep food coming month after month. 5. Test your soil. Yes, even in winter. Before spring hits, get a simple soil test from your local extension office or a garden center. Why now? Because it gives you time to amend your soil with lime for pH, compost or manure, potash for root crops. This way, when warm weather arrives, your soil is already dialed in. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these crops are you planting this November? Did any of them surprise you? Have you tried cover cropping before, or winter-sown carrots? Scroll down and leave me a comment. I read every single one, and it helps this channel grow, just like we grow our gardens. And speaking of growing, if you've found any value in this video, if you've learned something new, felt inspired to plant something different, or realized that yes, gardening doesn't stop when the temperature drops, then I invite you to subscribe right now, because every single week I'll walk you through what to plant, how to grow, and how to keep your garden thriving season after season. And you don't need a massive space. You don't need a greenhouse. You just need the right timing, the right seeds, and the right mindset. This is smart gardening. This is year-round gardening. And if you're here, you're already part of it. So subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned. November isn't the end. It's the beginning of what comes next. It's the quiet moment before the harvest, the hidden work beneath the surface, the investment that brings real, living returns come spring. And the gardeners who plant now are the ones who harvest more, stress less, and grow better next season. So plant your garlic, tuck in your spinach, scatter those cover crop seeds, and walk into winter with confidence, because your garden isn't sleeping, it's getting ready to explode with life. Thanks for being here. See you in the next video, and until then, keep growing, keep learning, and keep your hands in the soil. We're just getting started.